What's going on, everyone? We got to talk about Bitcoin today because, as you guys can see, Bitcoin has been in a sort of a rally, and a lot of people are now switching from bearish to bullish here, but not me. So I'm going to talk about why I'm not switching to the bullish side and what I think is about to happen here. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice, but let's get straight into it. So currently at the moment, we're at 80.9K on Bitcoin, technically 81K. And over the last 30 days, we are literally up 20% in the last month, 6% in the last 2 weeks, 5.8% in the last week, and 2.9% in the last 24 hours. So this has a lot of people trying to switch back to the bullish side of things. But one of the easiest ways to get burned inside of the market is to flip flop, right? Is to see your money going down as Bitcoin's going up. And then you go ahead and you sell Bitcoin or whatever you have. And then, like, let's say Bitcoin's going down, you sell it, you're like, oh man, it's going down, I'm selling it. And then you just end up buying back in at the high points, like around now. Like if you sold around 60K, why are you buying again around 81K? Like, don't do that. Just let it play out. Let it do what it does. If you sold at 60K, you already shot yourself in the foot because that was a solid support base. So you shouldn't have done that. But let's talk about this because, as you can see, we are breaking out of this pattern right here, and this right here is a bear flag. So we're breaking out of a bear flag right now to the upside. Now, bear flags do not have 100% win rate to the downside yet, right? It's supposed to be bearish, but it doesn't have it 100% win rate to the downside. So that's something that we got to watch out for and that we got to pay attention to. It seems like the whole entire crypto market is rallying, so everyone, I don't blame people for switching to the bullish side of things. There are a lot of projects rallying, and you can make a lot of money in a lot of these different projects. But you just have to know when things are ready to switch back around, you might not have enough time. So I think that Bitcoin is working its way up to this next resistance, right? So Bitcoin is actually coming up here to this 83.8K resistance here. And that is something that we touched in November. We touched it in the end of November as well. We touched it in December. So we've touched this area multiple times, and that was of last year. And then you can also see inside of the beginning of 2025, we also used this as a support base here. And it was trading around this area religiously for a good little minute. So this is a very, very important area for us to look at here on Bitcoin. So don't get too excited for this bull rally because we are inside of a major resistance zone. So what I want to mention here is the fact that we are breaking out here on this bull bear flag here is, yes, it's pretty bullish. I agree. And we are coming up to about 83.8K, right? We are coming up to there. But what I would warn you guys about is that this is a major area of resistance, right? It's going to be a major area of resistance. If we get past this and we push to 88K, then I'm going to be like, okay, now I'm leaning more towards the bulls, right? And if we pass 88K and we get up to 98K, then I'm like, okay, we're only bullish when we pass this resistance at 98K. And I'm technically going to say we're only bullish when we pass 100K. That's what I'm going to say. We're only bullish if we pass 100K. But I don't think we're even going to get close to 100K right now. I think we're about to have a massive breakdown. For one, I think the stock market is going to have a massive breakdown as well, right? Because if you look at the stock market, right? If you pull up the stock market, you can see that we are literally at new all-time highs here. It's absolutely crazy what it's been doing. It went all the way up here to like $724. Absolutely craziness. Like it did some crazy numbers, right? And it broke out of a recent region that we were in. But I have a feeling that it's about to pull back down into this area, right? So we had an ascending channel for a very long time in the stock market. And if you look at this, we broke out of its ascending channel just now. I think we're going to do something similar to Bitcoin where we break out very briefly and then we dump right back into the pattern, right? Because we broke out here on this ascending channel that we've been in since 2018. We broke out of it to the upside very briefly, but we have not closed on a weekly chart yet. And this is very important because if you look at Bitcoin, you can tell Bitcoin has not closed on a weekly chart yet. out of this area, right? It has not closed out of this area on a weekly chart. So if you look at the weekly chart here, the weekly chart will not close until May 11th. It's May 5th right now. So between May 11th and May 5th, we might see this thing push up to 83.9K. We might see it push up to 84K. We might even see it push up to 88K, right? But if it doesn't close above this level at 80K, then we're pretty much screwed, right? If it doesn't close above 80K on the weekly chart, you're pretty much screwed. So we got to see what happens here on the weekly chart. On the percent R trend exhaustion, you can see it's actually intersecting right here. So this is a common thing that we do on the weekly chart here, this intersection right before another pullback. It did it down here in the oversold area last time, but this time it's a little bit above it. I do think we are going to have one of those pullbacks here in a second, right? I think it's going to start pulling back really soon. So I think we get rejected around 84K and we come down. I think that's what's happening here. And then if you pull up the MACD, it's a possibility that we're going to start building bullish divergence. And the reason why this is bearish is because we are at the beginning of building bullish divergence. We're not at the end of it, right? At the end of bullish divergence, you have a breakout because bullish divergence is spotted by higher lows on the MACD. If you look at the MACD, we have this low here, this low here. Two higher lows on the MACD while simultaneously doing what? We get two higher lows on the MACD while simultaneously creating lower lows on the charts. We haven't created lower lows yet. I do think that we are starting some type of bearish divergence. You can see this low right here was lower, and then we had this one right here on the MACD, and then we had this lower low, and now I think we're about to push down again for that third lower low on the MACD. The third lower low on the MACD because we are doing what? Bearish divergence. So we are literally going through bearish divergence on the weekly chart. We're eventually going to have this pullback. This is a super bull trap. This is a super bull trap. Shout out to the members of the channel. A member told me I should go over Bitcoin like pronto. Usually just a sweater. Shout out to you. Become a member of the channel, guys, if you want me to cover projects based on what you say. Like if you say, hey, I want you to go over this now, I'll go over it now, right? So go ahead and become a member of the channel, guys. But this is very, very, very important because I think we're going to get rejected at about 84K, and then we're going to have that dump. And again, look, we have higher lows on the MACD, boom, boom, and then we're going to get another one here, boom. And then we have lower lows on the charts, boom, boom, and the next one should be at 50K. Possibly even, I'm not going to pretend to know that, oh, it's going to stop at exactly 50K. Like I think it will stop around 50K because we have solid support base there. Almost moved that, but yeah, we have a solid support base there. So 50K is generally where I'm looking, but there's a possibility we could be looking at 48K. There's a possibility that we could be looking at a lot of different areas, right? So 48K, 45K, 50K, somewhere in that range. I'm gonna stick at 50K, but I think if you're buying, you could probably wait till like 45, 48K, and then you'll get some nasty good deals, some really good deals. So I think 50K is coming soon for Bitcoin. And then we're going to have that pullback coming soon. And we're literally building bearish divergence. Like I don't need to say it again. Lower lows on the charts, higher lows on the MACD. We're about to create a new higher low on the MACD and a new lower low on the chart, which will be around 50 to 45K. All right. Do not get bull trapped. You should have bought all the way down here at 60K and then got out at 80K. You should not be buying in at 80K, right? If you buy in at 80K, I'm telling you now, you're probably going to, if you buy in at 80K and you're not fast enough to get out at 84K, like don't even do it. Like, but if you're fast enough to get out around like 83, 84K, even if we even hit that number, if you're fast enough to get out, you can make a quick little gain, but I would not risk it. I will not risk it. Just wait for it to go down, and it should go down soon. All right. And that is the weekly chart. If we look at the hourly chart or the daily chart, we can look at the daily chart and we can pull up this, and we see on the percent R trend exhaustion, we have the long-term trend is following the short-term trend up. short-term trend is in an overbought area. So the short-term trend could easily get rejected and pull back down and bring the long-term trend down with it. And that's pretty much what I'm watching out for. It's a recipe for disaster. But what I will admit is that the long-term trend is getting closer to that short-term trend. We do not want to see it pushing up into an overbought level if we're bearish, right? If you're bearish and the long-term trend starts pushing into that overbought level, then I will tell you right now, there's a possibility we can get to 88K and possibly even up to 90K, right? If this continues to push, we can see 88 to 90K. If that percent R trend exhaustion, the long-term trend continues to push upwards with the short-term trend, but the short-term trend's already overbought, and I think it's about to pull the long-term trend down with it. So we'll have to see what happens there. And then on top of that, some people would be like, "Oh, this is bullish divergence. This is bullish divergence." Yeah, we kind of had bullish divergence, but one thing that you have to remember is with bullish divergence, higher lows on the MACD, lower lows on the chart. On the weekly chart, we have bullish divergence, but it's still going to pull down about 50K, and then you're going to see that bullish divergence kicking in, right? But when you look at this on the daily chart and you look at the divergence, you're like, okay, we have higher lows on the MACD, but we're also seeing higher highs on the chart because the higher lows started here on the MACD, and then you can see that the lows are getting higher here. It's supposed to be like bullish divergence is supposed to be different. It's supposed to be lower lows on the chart, higher lows on the MACD. So we're seeing high lows on the MACD and highs on the chart. So the main important thing here is to say is like, okay, this isn't bullish divergence. So what is this? This is where things start to come full circle. This is the MACD. Look at that high. That is a high on the chart. And that is a lower high on the MACD. A lower high on the MACD right there. Two lower highs. And we're now in the process of creating a third lower high, which is why this push is not going to be too big because it's going to be a lower high than before. So it's not going to be a big push. It's going to be a lower high than before. Why? Because we have bearish divergence on the daily chart. So we have bullish divergence on a weekly chart, but bearish divergence on the daily chart, which is shorter term time frame, which means we are about to dump, and we're probably going to dump to 50 to 45K, and then we're going to have a massive push upwards because of the bullish divergence that we're building. So yes, we're going to have a massive push, but a lot of people have the timing wrong. You guys have the timing wrong. When you look at the weekly chart here, yes, we're going to be super bullish in a second here. We're going to be super bullish. We have bullish divergence. Just let it push down to 45K. And then we're going to have probably a push to like 50K. If it doesn't go down to 45, it'll go down to 50 and then go up to 60. And then another push down. I think we're going to stop this bear market around, I'm going to be honest, like 30K, like 28 to 30K. I think that's going to be the bottom of this bear market. A lot of people don't seem to think so. But look, I think we're going to push down really low down on like 30K, 28K, 30K. And then around 28 to 30K, and then I think we're going to have that massive push that we're seeing building up on the weekly chart. Yes, we are building bullish divergence here. We're building bullish divergence on the weekly chart. But that could mean that by the end of the year, we become bullish because this is a long-term chart. It's not a short-term chart. So by the end of the year, we might be bullish, not now, right? So we got that to watch out for. And then if you also look at the daily chart, like I was mentioning before here, like the daily chart is literally building up bearish divergence. We're getting higher highs here. If you look at where this starts, it starts right here. We're getting higher highs. Boom, 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 boom. We're getting higher highs on the chart, and then we're getting lower highs on the MACD. That's bearish divergence. So we're going to have a dump, all right? And I think it's going to be around 84K, and I'm sticking with it. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that. So I'm sticking with it. I'm going to keep you guys updated on this. I guess we can look at the 4-hour chart too. It was a bit shorter. We're literally overbought on the 4-hour. Like it's not going to take too long for us to get to 83, 84K if we even make it. And then we're going to get a huge dump from there, in my personal opinion. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. None is financial advice, but we're way too overbought right now. I think we're going to have a nasty, nasty pullback. All right. Now let's talk about what some other people are talking about. Ted here on Twitter, he says, our Bitcoin short will be epic. For all the haters, reply below. So a lot of people are telling them epic liquidation. But yeah, I think Bitcoin is going to be down, 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 down. So we're going to see what's going to happen. And then he says Bitcoin broke above 81K today. The CME gap around the 84K level. Remember that resistance that I mentioned. has not been filled yet. If Bitcoin holds above 80.6K, the CME gap could be filled next. And if Bitcoin fails to hold above the 80K level, a correction towards 77 to 78K could happen. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're seeing there. And then over here, you can see we got some people also talking about how it's going up, but they're still bearish. Crypto Rover says Bitcoin is going up. Open interest is rising. Funding is turning positive. Late longs are piling in. This is where the market punishes late longs. And I agree with that. You guys that are trying to go long late, like you guys are going to get burned. Like it was at 60K. You should have bought at 60K. Like why are you trying to buy now that it's up at 81K? Don't buy now that it's up, right? You should have bought back then, right? And if you didn't sell at 60K and we're at 80K, I'm not telling you guys to sell because a lot of people have a different strategy. A lot of people have long-term strategies. They have long-term tax strategies. They're not trying to, sell right now. So I'm not going to tell anyone to sell or buy. Me personally, I'd probably be, chopping some of it off, right? I'd probably be chopping some of it off. But, that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. But remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. I could be wrong. You could be wrong. We all could be wrong. But anyways, check out the link in the description for Advances 5, best DeFi trading platform in the game, up to 500x leverage. Zero fee perps when you're doing 500x leverage. If you sign up through the link below, then when you're not doing zero fee perps, you'll get up to 15% off your trading fees. At the moment, it's at 5%, but as more people start joining through the link, we will have up to 15% off in the trading fees. So go ahead and start trading on Advances 5. Link in the description because when you use that code, you get the discounts. All right. Same thing with Chart Prime. Link in the description for that. Best automated trading indicators in the game. Try it risk free for 7 days. Best automated trading indicators out there. Go ahead, check it out. Try it risk free. You can get a bunch of discounts right now on it. And I'll go ahead and show you what it's looking like on the daily chart. So on the daily chart, when we are looking at Chart Prime, we are at the equilibrium price point here. And then the premium price, like I said, all the way up to 88K, possibly even up to here at 98 to 100K. So like I said, if we push up to 98 to 100K, we're going to have a massive dump. And that is where the premium price point is on Chart Prime. So they show us all the way up there at like 98K to 100K. So there is a risk there of this thing running up some more, but we'll have to wait and we'll have to see. So yeah, this is pretty much all I got for you guys today. Again, remember, I'm not a financial advisor and none of this is financial advice. Go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention the 200-day. I know this is actually a very important thing and I forgot to mention it earlier, which is actually pretty stupid. But the 200-day SMA is about to be hit right here at 84K. I think that's actually a good thing to mention right now. So I'm glad I caught that just now because I have all my indicators here. I had it off. I didn't click it on. But as you can see, we could be getting rejected at the 200-day SMA at 84K and then dumping even more down here to this one. Wait, was that the 200-day? Yeah, that's the 200-day up there. And then this is the 50-day down here. So the 50-day will pull back down to that area if we get rejected at that 100-day. So that's another way to look at it as well. But anyways, this is all I got for you guys today. Hit the like button, subscribe. As always, I'll be back with another video.